Good evening. This is CTV News for Thursday, June 18th. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava. Thank you for joining us this evening. Well, the nation mourns yet another mass murder, this one in a house of worship.
9 people were gunned down during Bible study. Police are calling it a hate crime. Byron Scott is here with more. Byron, what can you tell us tonight?
Well, again, as you said, a mass murder with racial overtones. Well, the suspect in this case is white. The target, a black church, the oldest AME church in the South. Now, the shooting happened at around 9 o'clock last night as church members were holding a Bible study. Now, police say 21-year-old Dylan Ruff, a man with an arrest record, had been at that Bible study for an hour. Investigators say he pulled out a gun and began shooting. 9 people gunned down, including the pastor, Clementa Pinckney, who was also a longtime state senator. Now, the search for the killer went through the night. Ruff was captured at around 11:30 this morning in Selby, North Carolina, some 250 miles away, after someone called police to report seeing a suspicious vehicle.
That awful person, that terrible human being who would go into a place of worship when people were praying and kill them, is now in custody, where he will always remain.
And I am so pleased that we were able to resolve this case quickly, not only for the families, but for our community, for our state, and so that nobody else is harmed by this individual who obviously committed a tragic, heinous crime last night in the city of Charleston.
Now, the church is Mother Emanuel AME, the oldest AME church in the South. It was founded in the early 1800s. Now, President Obama addressed the incident today at the White House, saying the tragedy raises questions about America's dark past.
Something particularly heartbreaking about a death happening in a place in which we seek solace and we seek peace, in a place of worship. Mother Emanuel is, in fact, more than a church. This is a place of worship that was founded by African Americans seeking liberty.
Now, once again, a suspect is in custody. Now, in our area, a vigil is taking place this Sunday. This is happening at Turner Memorial AME Church, again, Sunday for the victims. At 3 p.m., the address 7201 16th Place in Hyattsville. Again, a vigil for the victims in South Carolina.
So, Byron, what happens next?
Well, right now he's in custody. Now they have to work on on charging him and then bringing him back to South Carolina from North Carolina.
All this happened very quickly today.
It did. It did. It happened 9 o'clock last night. He was captured 11:30. Someone saw this car, thought, looked at a place, called the FBI, or police, I should say, and they responded. There he was in the car.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Byron, for your report.
County Executive Rashern Baker is among those mourning tonight. Baker tells CTV that he knew the church pastor, State Senator Clementa Pinckney, who he describes as a really bright, great guy with a great voice. The pair met more than 15 years ago when they both were newly elected state leaders, accepted into a year-long fellowship program. Baker says he was in a state of shock upon hearing this morning that his old friend was among the dead. He calls the mass shooting disturbing.
On a personal note, it's very saddening to see somebody that I know, that I spent time with, that I spent a year with, to die in this manner. But also, you're in there. You're in a prayer service. You're ministering to people. You're trying to make the world better. And you have a gentleman that goes in there, sits in the prayer service, and then afterwards kills these folks. I mean, it says something about what's going on in our society.
Senator Pinckney's sister is also reported to be among those killed in the church shooting.
Meantime, civil rights activists across the nation are outraged after learning that the Dominican Republic is conducting a mass deportation of Haitians. At issue is a ruling by the Constitutional Court in that nation that strips away the citizenship of several generations of Dominicans whose parents are of Haitian descent. Now, political activist Serge Hyacinth says the primary reason appears to be racism.
The number of Haitians in the Dominican Republic is estimated anywhere from 500,000 to more, to many, many more. And so the impact of this mass exodus from the Dominican Republic of many people who many of whom have never set foot in Haiti, may not necessarily be very comfortable with the language, and certainly doesn't have a strong tie to Haiti, that would be devastating. Devastating for them, devastating for the Haitian community, and devastating for the Haitian government, which, as we know, is still reeling from the effect of the massive earthquake that shattered the country a few years ago.
A 10-inch water main break in Kettering creates a sinkhole, causing parts of a roadway to shut down this afternoon. The incident happened around 1:30 on Harrington Drive at Trafton Road. No drivers or pedestrians were injured. The Washington Suburban Sanitary Commission sent a crew to the scene to repair the hole. The road will reopen once the work is completed. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Rochelle Metzger.
And I'm Sonia Shrivastava.